Ask any Toronto fan who the greatest Raptor of all time is. Some will pick Vince Carter, few will land on Chris Bosh, but many will select Kyle Lowry, which is why his decision to move to the West Coast will be all the more difficult, as the Bulldog looks set to leave the North and suit up in purple and gold. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and check out the links in the description for more latest Hoops content. Kyle Lowry is no longer standing in the long shadow amongst elite point guards to never win a title. He finally got his ring in 2019, and what's more, he did it in style. The six-time All-Star came out the gates in Game 6 with 11 points straight off the bat to set the tone and close out the finals against a Golden State team looking for their third straight title. A career-defining moment, however, came the following season when the Raptors were down 30 points in the third quarter to the Dallas Mavericks. By this time, Kawhi was firmly in LA, mounting a surge with the Clippers, so a revival never seemed likely. However, K-Low rallied the troops to the greatest comeback in franchise history with 20 points in the fourth quarter alone, and by hitting back-to-back threes to take the lead and ultimately close out the game. After the game, fellow teammate Boucher said of the performance, "He led us the right way, put us in great spots. Kyle does that every time, even when people don't see it. Kyle's a great leader." This was further assurance that Lowry wasn't done yet. He wanted more. And after another incredible postseason display in the 7-game thriller against the Celtics in 2020, K-Low showed he had plenty left in the tank for a final chapter in his fairy tale career. This year, however, the Raptors struggled, getting off to a poor start, and ultimately with injuries and COVID protocols, they slipped out of the playoffs for good. Around the trade deadline, rumors swirled that Lowry was packing his shorts for the sandy beaches of LA, a move that would see LeBron bolster his squad with some much-needed experience after the departure of Dwight Howard and Rajon Rondo in the offseason. On the final day, Twitter buzz mounted as the Lakers offered up a Schroeder and KCP package, but to no avail. The Raptors then apparently asked for Dennis Schroeder, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and Talen Horton-Tucker, but the Lakers felt it was too overpriced for a vet like Lowry.
Kind of weird tonight, not knowing what the next step would be, just with, understanding that there's things that could possibly be done on the front of me and then other guys in our team and in the organization. So it's kind of weird, I'm gonna be honest with you. Who knows what's gonna happen? No one knows what's gonna happen, but it was definitely for sure different.
The deadline came and went, and Lowry remained a Raptor. Kyle followed this snub with a performance for the ages, tearing through the Lakers with 37 points and 11 assists. Was this the bat signal for LeBron? If so, it couldn't have been clearer or more decisive, as with every tough shot, Lowry looked to the Lakers bench to make his point known. The whirlwind season then settled and the Lakers focused on the playoffs. They fell away with a poor second half, finishing 7th in the Western Conference. This meant they would go on to meet an in-form Phoenix Suns in the first round led by a ferocious Chris Paul and dazzling Devin Booker. And after losing a 6-game series, LeBron's Lakers were likely taking notes from the Suns, who looked a completely different outfit with the boost of a 6-foot veteran point guard of their own in CP3. Paul came in and handed the Phoenix Suns immediate leadership and chemistry, something he managed to do with the less talented OKC a year ago. This template has to be a foundation the Lakers are looking to build upon for instant success. It just makes sense. Missing out on one deadline is unacceptable for an institution like the Lakers. Their ego is badly bruised, which leads us to believe they'll be more aggressive in this window. After all, they are competing with the likes of Miami. Let's not forget LeBron's ex on the East Coast competed for Kyle's signature the first time around, Tyler Herro being the player the Heat refused to give up. They could look set to mount a challenge once again, and they won't be alone. The 76ers, for some reason, still believe it's their calling to bring North Philly's finest back to the team of his birthplace. Yet this appears a bit of a stretch when Philadelphia can barely string a decent performance together in a single playoff series. It could be an option for this final year, maybe for reasons of nostalgia, but other than that, Philly is a no. Miami probably won't give up what the Raptors want, so now all roads lead us back to square one, the West Coast. So let's talk about potential switches. The Lakers' trade options appeared predictable at first, with Schroeder seemingly offered in every single rumored trade so far. So let's just accept that he's part of the deal. KCP was on the table last time, so he's in again. That leaves a less than impressive Kyle Kuzma or a notable talent in Horton-Tucker, who the Lakers wouldn't give up the first time around. Either way, looking at all the combinations for this trade makes sense for the Lakers, at least in the short term. Despite Lowry's age, he would give them another 2 strong years and cover some much-needed bases sadly missed following Rajon Rondo's departure. Now to the Raptors. What's their angle? President Masai Ujiri claimed at the time of the first potential trade deal, if we were going to do something, we were honestly going to do something right by Kyle. He did indeed stick to his word by waiting out the deadline and giving Lowry the opportunity to weigh his options in the offseason. A far cry from what happened 3 years ago when he ruthlessly traded Toronto's marquee player and Lowry's best friend DeMar DeRozan for superstar Kawhi Leonard.
No, please come back. No. My friend.
I think we can all agree it was the right move, with Toronto gaining instant access, winning their first championship, and Kawhi being named Finals MVP. However, it seems now Ujiri is sentimental following the championship run and has done everything in his power to keep his floor general. So is this a good trade for the Raptors? At one point, the Raptors had a 13-0 win streak without Kyle Lowry on the team. Now, does that mean anything? Absolutely not. Kyle makes up for so much on the court with his leadership and playmaking, it would be bizarre to imagine Toronto is better off without him. He is the definition of a big game player.
Lonnie McCutcheon hands to Joseph. They need a 3 to tie. Lowry, half-court heave, a prayer at the buzzer. Oh! Kyle Lowry!
In 2016, his half-court buzzer beater against Miami in Game 1 of the conference semifinals was only overshadowed by his Game 7 performance of 35 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, and 4 steals to send the Raptors to their first ever conference finals. When the Raptors struggled in those early series games against the Bucks in the 2019 conference finals, Lowry was brilliant with 30 points in Game 1 and a stirring 25 points in Game 4 to level the series.
0.5 to go in Game 3. OG with a look, got it! OG Anunoby at the buzzer!
Try throwing a pass with a 7'5" Taco Fall with 0.4 seconds to hit the perfect shot in a pressure playoff must-win game. You can't. It's impossible. Unless you're Kyle Lowry. And that's where the appeal is for both sides. When it comes to crunch time, most people want him on their team. The Raptors won't know what they're missing until he's gone. On the flip side, they have to start thinking about their future with Malachi Flynn being ready to fill that slot and Fred VanVleet also playing the point guard. And Fred's game has improved so extraordinarily that we sometimes forget he went undrafted. So there might be no shame in Toronto finally bidding farewell after all. A respectable jersey retirement and a long goodbye to the best they've ever had with a fair deal that benefits all. Retiring your Raptor is a phenomenal achievement, but so is playing 9 years at a franchise and crowning it with their first ever championship. He completed the game in the East. Surely it's time to start another in the West. Lowry has openly spoken about how family is the main factor for a potential move, while championships come second in consideration. His family reportedly loves Toronto, but sunny Los Angeles will surely erase their memories of the cold winters up north. Not to mention the main motivation: money. If the Lakers can move the right pieces to get the right space, Lowry could have a handsome packet at the back end of his career. During the first melee in March, Lowry reportedly sold his mansion in Toronto. And even though that now seems to have been premature, is it possible he was preparing for a move at either deadline?
I will retire as a Toronto Raptor. That if I'm here, I will retire as a Toronto Raptor. That's a one-day contract. Hey, whatever happens. For me, I know I'm still playing at a good enough level where I can help the team, I can help us, and get better.
Nevertheless, this trade once again comes down to the player because Masai Ujiri genuinely wants to do right by him. And by the looks of things, K-Low wants to bow out with dignity while setting his sights on a new challenge. As for the Lakers, they have never been a predictable organization, so they could give up anything in this trade and it wouldn't surprise us. At the end of the day, Kyle Lowry can hold his head as high as his number 7 jersey in the rafters at Scotiabank Arena. No Raptors fan will deny their legend the opportunity to head west for one more shot at that title. And more importantly, some better weather. Do you think Kyle Lowry is Laker bound? Comment below to let us know your thoughts and be sure to subscribe for more. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss another one of our videos. We'll see you next time, latest Hoops fans. Until then, keep shooting your shot.